Clock News starts right now.
$7.7 million for the 21 families that lost their loved ones at Robb Elementary. State Senator Roland Gutierrez making that proposal. He actually wants to create a fund.
It would also include millions more for survivors and their families. Alicia Barrera reports that today Gutierrez is announcing plans to file a bill for the Uvalde Victims Compensation Act.
While no amount of money could ever bring back their child,
Again, I don't care about the money. It's never been about the money.
Nor erase the pain and trauma of survivors.
Again, I just want justice for my daughter and her friends and her teachers, and that's it.
A proposed $300 million from the state aims to at least afford the time to grieve.
It's called the Uvalde Victims Compensation Fund.
While the next Texas legislative session doesn't begin until January 2nd, 2023,
My entire session is going to be devoted to these folks.
preparations are underway.
That will be filed on November 11th.
The proposed bill indicates family members or dependents of a victim would receive a lump sum within 60 days if approved.
It's $7.7 million per household that lost a child, and $2.1 million for injured children.
Survivors of the shooting that suffer from mental or emotional disability qualify for $250,000.
The 7.7 is clear. Those kids waited for 77 minutes while cops did nothing. The 2.1 million is for the 21 people that died, and that goes to injured children, because forever they'll have to live with a survivor's guilt among many other traumas that they'll have to deal with in their lives.
Each amount, a clear message to the officers and agencies that Gutierrez says failed the kids, teachers, and community of Uvalde.
The state of Texas can pay for that. We can do that. The fact is we have $27 billion in ARPA surpluses.
All right, so this 6-page bill would take effect immediately if it receives 2/3 of the vote during the legislative session. And Gutierrez says he hopes to receive bipartisan support. When it comes to the investigation, he says he's still pressing for transparency from investigators and says he actually reached out directly to the Bexar County Medical Examiner's office, and they allegedly tell him those autopsies will be ready by next week. We did call. However, we're still waiting to hear back. Reporting live in Uvalde, Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thanks, Alicia. A former Bexar County detention deputy has been arrested after allegedly letting inmates use his cell phone. The sheriff's office says 21-year-old Matthew Pacheco let inmates use his phone to post a video on Instagram at the beginning of October.
Yeah, during their investigation, BCSO says surveillance video actually showed Pacheco giving inmates his cell phone. He resigned a few days later in October. This is the 15th BCSO deputy arrested just this year.
The building that housed the Midnight Rodeo venue for 38 years, it is no more. It burned to the ground this morning.
The business closed in 2019, and since then, neighbors say the building that once housed it has been sort of a nuisance. But still, some people are sad to see it go this way. Courtney Friedman is there live right now. Courtney, from all indications, and certainly from the video we're looking at right now, this was an intense fire.
Yeah, Stephen, Myra, it really was. And there's proof of that right now, almost 12 hours later. And on the other side of the rubble, there are crews putting out hot spots. So it's 25,000 square feet behind me of rubble. This is the closest we've been able to get all day in the last couple hours. I'm right here up against the caution tape. And even now, I can barely still see anything specific in there other than scraps of metal. So you talked about that video. That fire was so powerful. Take a look at this. It came rushing out of the front, eventually collapsing the walls and the roof. Crews say it was fueled by this metal that you see and bottles of alcohol inside. The bar closed in 2019, but apparently all the booze and paperwork and equipment were still in there. The electricity was even still working until a week ago. Neighbors have been complaining for years now since it's closed down that the property was causing problems, especially with people staying in the building illegally.
It's very sad. And then when it got closed, there was graffiti and there's trash and 18-wheelers were hanging out, and it was very sad. And I was hoping that somebody would buy it and do something with it before it came to this point.
Obviously, with the building destroyed like this, those things are no longer an issue, but they do have some questions. The city does have some questions for the property owner about cleanup and the things that were inside the building. They're going to be talking about that at a meeting on Monday. And we just want to let you know, if you just come with me right here, there is a building right here with housing the bingo club and the liquor store, and it looks unscathed. So it's kind of amazing to see how this wall held up here. We spoke with the manager over at the bingo club just about an hour ago, and she said after there's an engineer coming just to check everything out, they should be open in 3 to 4 days. We're live on the Northeast Side. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Courtney. Tonight, San Antonio police still investigating a stabbing at a home that sent a man in his 30s to the hospital. It happened about 3 this morning in the 2300 block of West Poplar Street. It's on the west side. Officers say that suspect and victim both lived at the house. They got into a fight. Police say the victim was stabbed several times in the arms and legs, taken to University Hospital. Is expected to be okay. The suspect left the house before police got there. There's still an ongoing investigation tonight. A worker at a Northside construction site had to be rescued after falling into a 20-foot hole today. This happened around 10 o'clock this morning in the 100 block of Interpark Boulevard. San Antonio fire officials say that crews were there laying pipe when a man fell from the top of the trench down onto some larger pipe below. He was taken to University Hospital to be checked out. A jury watched surveillance video of a deadly shooting from 2 years ago on day one of a murder trial for 19-year-old Mario Duarte. Erica Hernandez takes you into the courtroom, shows you what that video revealed and why the defense argues that this is a case of self-defense.
A 911 call and surveillance video of a deadly shooting, the first pieces of evidence shown to a jury in the murder trial of Mario Duarte. Duarte is one of 2 men accused of the September 2020 murder of 16-year-old Sebastian Diaz outside an apartment complex on the north side. According to the state, Diaz was there to sell drugs to Duarte and his cousin Julian Vera.
It's going to come out that that conversation was about drugs. The defendant's cousin was going to buy THC cartridges from Sebastian.
The surveillance video showing Duarte and Vera walk up to Diaz's SUV and the moments they run off. It also shows the 3 passengers in the vehicle running away and then Diaz stepping out of the vehicle and collapsing. And as that video was being played inside the courtroom, it was very hard for the victim's family to listen and to watch as they broke down in tears and some even walking out. The man on the 911 call who tried to render aid to Diaz telling a jury while he didn't see the actual shooting, he saw the moments after.
He looked at me with his hands up and he just hit his knees and fell over.
The defense saying this was all a case of self-defense and Duarte and his cousin only defending themselves from Diaz and the other passengers.
Ask yourself what's reasonable about drug dealers. What do they have with them? Weapon, maybe? We believe the evidence will show that Mario was acting in self-defense. He was a scared kid.
The co-defendant in this case, Julian Vera, is awaiting trial. As for Duarte, if found guilty, he faces up to life in prison. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
We are in the midst of early voting here in Texas, and already thousands across the state, hundreds of thousands have cast their ballots. But there's still thousands more who wait until Election Day to vote. Max Massey spoke with leaders of both the Bexar County Democrats and Republicans to go over their primary focus.
The party's main focus is just turning out as many voters as possible.
Crime, inflation, and integrity, I think, is one of the key issues in transparency.
When I sat down with the heads of both the local GOP and local Democrats, the focus was similar. Get out and vote on what matters to you the most.
We just can't sit back on our hands and hope that there's change. So the only way there's going to be change is if we actually go out and use our voice, but most importantly, we use our vote.
It's not very difficult right now simply because of the state of the economy, the increased crime that has crept up over the past 2 years.
Both parties advocating to get out and vote for change. It just depends on what that change looks like to you. On one side, there's the idea of the changing tide across Texas.
I believe locally that wave is still here. I believe the wave is still coming, and I see that we're chipping away at it. My hope is that that wave takes it over, but if it doesn't, what I can see with the data that we have is that wave has chipped away at that red state.
And on the other side, not so convinced.
I don't believe that the majority of the people in the state of Texas would become fooled to believe that the blue wave would benefit them financially, sure hasn't lately, benefit them with individual rights, sure didn't during COVID, benefit them with secure borders, sure hasn't happened there.
And this is just a portion of the conversation I had with both the chair of the Democratic Party and the chair of the Republican Party. Now, we also have stories running at 6 o'clock on Thursday and Friday. And we're going to be talking about everything from the governor's race to priorities to the future of each respective party. If you miss anything, you can check it all out right now. Just head to KSAT.com. But for now, Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
And now, just a reminder, early voting still happening this week. Right now on KSAT.com, we have everything you need to know ahead of Election Day, including sample ballots, polling locations. We're also going to bring you live updates on Election Night. During our Election Night live stream, Myra and I will be part of it. Stefania, we've got the power panel set up. That live stream starts at 7 o'clock.
They're often called granny flats or casitas, secondary homes or buildings behind a main house. Now, officially, the city of San Antonio calls them accessory dwelling units or ADUs. Some proposed code changes are meant to make it easier for homeowners to build new ones and to also help with affordable housing. But Garrett Berger tells us that some worry that will actually make it easier for real estate investors to try for a bigger cash grab.
If you walk through the King William neighborhood, it's easy to spot the ADUs in many yards.
And they used to be servants' quarters, frankly, back in the day, and they've converted them to, dwelling units.
Mickey Conrad and his wife built their own. They've never rented it out, but it has come in handy for housing guests and now his wife's workshop. He says it's something he'd recommend to a friend.
Giving them the flexibility of generating that income, or if they've got a mother-in-law or a relative that needs a place.
The city's affordable housing plan calls for creating more ADUs, and city staff say proposed code changes align with that.
The changes include allowing the ADUs to be larger, have more occupants and bedrooms, be closer to the property lines, and have their own separate utility meters.
But the Tier 1 Neighborhood Coalition wants those last two changes dropped. A member of its steering committee says shorter setbacks create fire safety concerns, and allowing separate utilities could make it easier for an investor to come in and split a home and its ADU into two separate rentals.
Your single-family home will now become an investor duplex.
Technically, that's not allowed. The owner has to live in one of the buildings in order to have an ADU. But Maldonado's concerned about enforcement. Owners who build new ADUs have to sign an affidavit that they live on site, though the city isn't out looking for violations of that afterward. But staff say they would look into it if it's reported.
They would have to rezone their property. That would be the next step in the development process that they would have to comply with.
As for fire concerns, the city says buildings put closer to property lines would have additional fire protection requirements. The city council is scheduled to vote on this as part of nearly 200 code amendments Thursday morning. Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Check out traffic right now. Let's go to I-10 and Frio as you wind towards downtown. That is usually where the backup is, and it certainly is today. Both the upper and lower ramps coming together there, and that is causing a backup, but not all that unusual for this time of day.
Now you can see a lot of red taillights because it's a pretty gray picture out there. We did have some sunshine earlier, but a lot of clouds have moved in, Adam.
Yeah, and overall, Myra, this time of year, it's a foggy time of year. We've got longer nights, and whenever we have higher humidity, that typically leads to fog. And already the low clouds are building. They're going to drop down tonight. Visibility currently at 10 miles. Expect that to change. Wind becoming calm, but it's going to get even muggier overnight. That's going to help the fog develop after midnight with some sprinkles. We're going to talk about visibilities along with when we won't have fog in the 7-day forecast, and an update on the Friday evening storm chance in just a bit.
I'm Stefania Jimenez, and here's what we're working on for you tonight on the Night Beat. A new leader is at the helm at the Uvalde CISD. Tonight, its interim superintendent discusses his goal for the district and how he's hoping to rebuild trust with the community and the victims' families. And one last appeal to voters in the final days of early voting. Tonight, Beto O'Rourke, in his own words, on the top issues in the governor's race and the star power supporting him from beyond state borders. Those stories and a lot more tonight on the Night Beat.
Thanks, Stephania. One of the largest Thanksgiving dinners in the nation is back in person at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center.
But the Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner is struggling with inflation costs.
Camelia Juarez tells us how people are coming together to make sure it's still the best dinner yet.
This is a San Antonio tradition.
For the 43rd year, at least 25,000 people in need will have a warm Thanksgiving meal. Raul Jimenez's daughter Patricia says inflation costs are making it difficult.
No donation is too small.
Jimenez says food costs are rising, but so are the donations. Corporate sponsor Walmart upped their donation to $30,000.
Everyone has been leaning in. When you think that people will give less, they're actually giving more.
The San Antonio Chamber of Commerce is asking more businesses to help donate. The Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner has thousands of volunteers to help make it a success and to deliver around 3,000 meals to those that are homebound.
It really fills your heart to be out there volunteering, giving back to folks who are so grateful to have a meal and to have a friendly face.
VIA is providing free rides to the convention center, and if you're in need of a homebound meal, just call 211. Camelia Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
All right, let's turn to the forecast now. We talked about the fog a little bit earlier. It's just kind of that time of year,
yes.
As you said. We're going to see more of that, huh?
Well, when you think about it, when we have the humidity in place and we have longer nights, the sun has set, it's down for longer, that allows you more time to generate that fog. And so usually this time of year, it gets pretty foggy. We see it also in the springtime as well as we transition into summer. And it's going to be pretty common here over the next 7 days. Basically, 5 of the next 7 days, I anticipate morning fog and sprinkles. So some reduced visibilities for the morning commute. Tomorrow, again on Friday, and even into next week. Humid except for the weekend. And once you get rid of that humidity, you get rid of the fog potential as well. So this weekend's actually going to be fall-like. Storm chance Friday evening. Let's give you the updates on that, starting with this. Here's what to expect and what we're watching for. Timing Friday evening. We're fast-forwarding here to Friday evening around sunset. A narrow line of storms is possible. We'll likely be on the tail end of the activity with most of it to the north of us. There's just a slight chance in a narrow window of opportunity we could have a little line move through town. We're planning for minimal rainfall overall, and honestly, I think most of us will remain dry. If we do end up seeing the tail end of that thin line move through, maybe up to ½ an inch for a few very lucky neighborhoods. Also, I anticipate a decent amount of instability in our atmosphere and conditions that could trigger a severe storm. I don't anticipate much of that to develop, but I think there's the off chance of a stray severe thunderstorm with a stronger straight line wind or two to develop. That's the threat, but again, it's a low-end threat at the moment. All right, let's talk about the big picture, and we're still watching this big dip in the upper level flow. That's a big trough. That's our next system. You can see it's stirring things up, causing the rain and even higher elevation snow in the western U.S., and it's going to continue to drop our way. However, right now it looks like the bulk of the energy with it will be just to the north of us. So once this gets closer to Texas, North Texas, I mean, we're talking even Dallas, Waco area, northward, all the way up through the plains, good rainfall for them. Some heavier accumulations for us. We're going to be right on the tail end of this activity, as we so often are this far south in Texas. You get the cold fronts to develop, most of the action's off to the north, Austin and northward. But of course, that still gives us that potential, that chance of a quick, brief, narrow line of thunderstorms Friday evening. We're giving it a 30% chance. Between now and then, we've got this 20%, and you'll see that on our weather app, that 20%. It's just for sprinkles, okay? A few sprinkles popping up here and there. That's all we're going to see tomorrow and again on Friday. All right, today, 76 our high, a morning low of 58, and morning temperatures will be bouncing around a bit, so let's talk about it. Right now, we're in the 70s all across the Lone Star State. 76 in Junction, 75 in Austin, even 75 here in San Antonio, and some 60s in parts of the hill country. Right now, Rock Springs at 64 degrees. But let's fast forward to tomorrow morning. The air temperature is going to drop right down near that dew point. It's going to be humid and will be in the upper 60s for most of us tomorrow morning. Then by the afternoon, we warm up into the 80s. But these morning temperatures are going to be all over the place. It's going to feel kind of spring-like the next couple of mornings. But by the weekend, it'll briefly feel fall-like. By Sunday morning, we're down to 50 degrees. Afternoons aren't going to see quite as much variability over the next several days. Here's a KSAT 12-hour forecast. Foggy morning. Visibility is probably under a mile in some locations. By the afternoon, we'll have sunshine, making it to 83 degrees for the afternoon high temperature. And then this weekend, a little slot of fall-like weather, sunny, low humidity near 80.
And a change in the time. We can get that. Thanks, Adam.
All right, well, the Spurs just keep winning, but they've got some injuries, Larry, that they're dealing with.
Yeah, their leading scorer, Keldon Johnson, is out tonight on top of a few other guys. Now, one young player we're looking forward to seeing more of is Romeo Langford. He could quite possibly be the Spurs' newest defender who can just stop you at any point in the game. Plus, in high school volleyball, Brandeis is moving on in the UIL playoffs coming up. Winners of 2 in a row. The Spurs will be shorthanded tonight when they host the Toronto Raptors. Leading scorer Keldon Johnson is out with right calf tightness. Isaiah Roby will sit with flu-like symptoms. Devin Vassell remains out with left knee soreness. And Blake Wesley is out several weeks with a left MCL sprain. Now, fourth-year guard Romeo Langford earned his first start with the Spurs on Sunday, and he played some solid defense in the team's 107-98 win. He locked down Anthony Edwards on multiple occasions, and he disrupted big man Karl Anthony Towns in the post. Romeo feels the minutes will come if he can play solid defense when he's on the floor.
I feel like that's one thing I can hang my hat on. And it all began when I was with the Celtics. That was the main thing I focused on was my defense, because that was like the only way to get playing time.
When he's healthy, he's super effective. You know what I'm saying? He has really long arms. He's very smart. He knows how to play the game. He knows where the extra pass is. He knows when to go under a screen and when to go over and matchups. And you know what I'm saying? I think he's done a good job of this year of just, you know, getting in the treatment room, staying in the weight room, keeping himself ready.
Here's video rookie Jeremy Sohan from morning shoot-around. He's been upgraded to available after dealing with flu-like symptoms. Spurs and Raptors will go down tonight at 7 at the AT&T Center. Now, the Raptors last played on Halloween night when they beat the Hawks 139-109. They outscored Atlanta 44-29 in the fourth quarter to blow the game open. Pascal Siakam is their leading scorer this season at 26.1 points per game. Gary Trent Jr. is next at 19.4 points per contest. The defending state champion Brandeis Broncos are moving on in their quest for a repeat after one round of playoff action. The Broncos defeated Steele 3-1 on Tuesday night to advance to the area round. Senior Emma Halstead and junior Austin Smoke lead a core of returners who have plenty of playoff experience playing at the Alamo Convocation Center, where the Broncos won 3 playoff games last year. And that experience certainly helped them out against Steele.
It really does help, because it can be very intimidating to walk into a gym, especially like this, when you have a lot of people on both sides with even bigger crowds and people that are going to yell things right at you instead of just like for the other team. So really that experience does help a lot, and it helps keep you calm and keep you focused on the game and not the outside.
Just being in the state environment, there's a lot of people, there's screaming, and there's the crowds going, so it just kind of keeps you just focused on the court, and what really matters is winning.
Broncos will face Lake Travis in the area round this Saturday at San Marcos High School at 4 p.m. San Antonio FC head coach Alan Marcina, goalkeeper Jordan Farr, and defender Mitchell Tainer were all named finalists for the 2022 USL Championship Awards. Marcina is a finalist for Coach of the Year. Farr is a finalist for Goalkeeper of the Year, and Tainter is finalist for Defender of the Year. Winners for Goalkeeper and Defender this year of the year will be announced Tuesday, November 8th, while the Coach of the Year will be announced Wednesday, November 9th. SAFC will be in action this Sunday in the USL Championship Western Conference Final with Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC from Toyota Field at 7:30 p.m. Up 2-1, the Phillies will host the Astros tonight at 7:03 in Game 4 of the World Series. Philly won last night 7-0 on the strength of 5 home runs, including the 1,000th home run in World Series history, which I thought was pretty darn cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Unless you're an Astros fan. You're probably like, yeah.
From the history
it could have been cooler.
It's cool.
It could have been cooler if the Astros hit it.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Larry.
All right, our KSAT Q&A is coming up next. We are talking to candidate for Bexar County Judge Trish DeBerry. Stay with us.